Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to teach you how to pass in accessory journal entries. But before that, let's discuss about accounts and its types. What is account? Account is a summary of transactions related to one thing or a person. So therefore, there are three types of accounts: personal account, real account and nominal account. So let's discuss these one by one. The first one is a personal account. In personal account, it involves all the persons. So these persons can be natural, artificial or representative. First, natural person. Who is a natural person? A natural person is the one that is born by birth. For example, Neha, Sonal. These are born naturally. The second type is artificial. Artificial person is the one which is created by law. Yes, which is created by law. For example, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank. The third one is representative account. A representative account is the one that represents someone. For example, outstanding salary. Outstanding salary is the account that represents those people to whom salary is not paid, is outstanding. Here we need to keep one thing in mind, that capital and drawings is also a personal account. Why? Because it represents the owner's deposits and withdrawals. The second type of account is real account. So under real account, all the assets or the properties of the business comes under the real account. The third is the nominal account. In nominal account, income, gain, expenses and losses are covered. Next topic that we are going to discuss is the rules of accounting. These are also known as golden rules of accounting, and these are based upon the types of account that we have discussed, that is nominal account, personal account and real account, and these will help you to pass the necessary journal entries. So let's discuss the rules of accounts. First is for the nominal account. So we will debit all the expenses and losses, and we will credit all the incomes and gains. Personal account, remember, includes the persons. So in case of personal account, we will debit the receiver and we will credit the giver. In case of real account, it includes the properties of business. So we will debit what comes in and we will credit what goes out of the business. Next topic that we are going to talk about is journal. What is journal? Journal is books of accounts where you first time record the transaction. Here you need to keep two things in mind, that the transactions are recorded for the very first time, that is why it is called original books of accounts. Second, all these transactions are recorded date wise. So here is the format of journal. In journal we have basically 5 columns: date, particulars, ledger folio, debit side and the credit side. So let's discuss these one by one. The first column is the date column, in which you will record the date of transaction. The second column is the column of particulars, where you will write the description of the accounts that needs to be debited and credited. The third is the ledger folio. After the journal, the entries are transferred to the ledger, so the page number of ledger folio is recorded over here. The fourth and fifth column represents the amounts column. So the accounts that needs to be debited and credited, the amount of those accounts are recorded over here. The process of analyzing the transactions and recording in journal is called journalizing. So here are the steps to record the necessary journal entry. Step number 1, you will identify the 2 accounts that are involved in the transaction. Step number 2, you will classify these accounts, that is whether the account is nominal, personal or real account. The third, you will find out the rules that we have discussed before. The step number 4 is that we will decide which account needs to be debited or credited. The next step is that we will record the necessary journal entry in books of accounts. Step number 6, which is very important, is the narration. Narration is basically the description or details about the transaction. Last step is we will draw a line after every transaction. So let's understand these steps with the help of an example. On Jan 1, furniture purchased for cash worth rupees 20,000. So the first step said that we need to identify the two accounts involved. So the two accounts involved are furniture and cash. So I'm writing furniture and cash in front of the identify column. The second step is to find out the type of account. Since furniture is the property of the business, so it will come under real account. Similarly, cash is also the property or the asset of the business, so it will also come under real account. The third step is that we will apply the rules of accounting. So in real account, we will debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So furniture is coming in the business, we will debit, that is what comes in. Cash is going out, so we will credit, that is what goes out. Let's see how to pass in a Stressfree journal entry. But before that, we have to remember one thing, that year is only written once, and every time we only write the date and the month of the transaction. So here I am writing the date of the transaction as Jan 1. In particular columns, I have to write the account that needs to be debited and credited. So the account that needs to be debited will be written from the left side, that is furniture account. I am writing debit in front of it. The account that needs to be credited is written in the next column, leaving some space with starting with 2, cash account. So here we don't need to write the credit abbreviation. So I'm writing 20,000 in front of the account that needs to be debited and 20,000 in front of the account that needs to be credited. The next, that is a very important step, is the narration of the transaction, that is the details. There is no specific narration. So I'm writing furniture worth 20,000 purchased on cash. The last and the very important step after every transaction is to draw a line. So let's discuss one more example. On April 1, Sham started business with cash 5 lakh rupees. Here, Sham was the owner of the business and he invested some amount in the business. So remember one thing, the amount invested by the owner is called the capital. So two accounts involved here is cash and capital. So let's classify these accounts. So cash is the asset or the property, so it will come under real account. Capital is the amount that is represented by the owner, so it is personal account. Real account. Rules: debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So cash is coming in the business, so we will debit what comes in. Here Sham is the giver, so we will credit the giver. Let's pass in accessory journal entry. So first I'm writing the date, that is April 1 in the date column. The second, we need to write the account that needs to be debited and credited. So cash account debited. 2 in the next column. 2. Since the name is given, Sham's capital account. In the debit and credit column, I'm going to write the amount that needs to be debited and credited. So amount 5 lakh in debit column, amount 5 lakh in the credit column. Important narration, that is, business started with cash 5 lakh. The last and the important step is to draw the line after every transaction. Let's see one more entry. On September 20, 50,000 is received from Saloni. So two accounts involved is cash and Saloni. So I'm writing in the identification column cash and Saloni. So next you need to classify these accounts. So cash is the property of the business. So I'm writing real account. Saloni is a person, natural person. So I'm writing personal account. Next, we need to apply the rules. So cash is coming in the business. So I will write debit what comes in, and Saloni is the giver. So I'm writing credit the giver. Us together pass the necessary journal entry. So date September 20, cash account debited to Saloni's account debited. In the debit column 50,000, credit column 50,000, and narration cash received from Saloni. And we will end the transaction with a line. Let's test your knowledge. Here you need to fill the box and pass the necessary journal entry. Here is the solution. So two accounts which are involved is cash account and salary. So cash is the property of the business. It will come under real account. Salary is an expense, so it will come under nominal account. So we will credit what goes out and we will debit the expenses. So here is the solution for the entry. November 1, salaries account debited to cash account, 50,000 in debit column and credit column, and narration is paid salary, and we need to close it with a line. So with these rules of accounts, you can pass any necessary journal entry. That's all for today. Hope you like my video and subscribe to my channel to never miss any updates. Thank you.